Hello and welcome back to Lorcana Villain. My name is Baker, and today we're taking a look at pirates from the upcoming set Into the Inklands. I feel the need to say once again straight away, as I said at the beginning of my Jafar video, which if you haven't seen that will be linked down below, but yes, we are only at like 3 or 4 days into online testing for Into the Inklands. You get a variety of opponents. All the information at the moment is not enough to really judge what the meta is going to look like, because everyone's trying out new things. I hardly run into a Ruby Amethyst at all, and I expect it won't be until the new season starts where people actually start caring more about what they're playing because they want to rank up. At the moment, because you can't rise or go down on the rankings, everyone's just trying everything, and of course just because it's fun to try everything. Although there's a lot of Emerald Steel out there. There's a lot of Emerald Steel. A lot. I've seen grab your sword so many. I'm thinking about building my own Iron Throne. This here channel will be sponsored by Cardmarket. So check out Cardmarket for all your trading card game needs, you swabs. But yeah, Emerald Steel is a very popular combo, but yeah, the meta needs to, I think we need to go into the next season and for people to start playing what we know to be good decks and making the decks that were already good better, like Ruby Amethyst updated, Steel Amber Songs updated, things like that. So take everything I say with a pinch of salt, because we have no way of really knowing what's going to be good. We have some ideas. But Pirates. This was one of I think I did Mufasa first, but this is the second deck that I tried, and has been the most fun that I have had playing Lorcana in a long time. So it's Rogue. I think it's more of a fun deck that has some legs behind it. I've been doing quite well with it, but again, I can't really take that data too seriously until the meta starts to take more of a form. And instinctively, I don't feel like this would have a very good Ruby Amethyst, to be honest. But I've been having a lot of fun with it, and again, I think it's Rogue. That's something that might pop up once in a while. The main issue with this deck that I've found from my build has been card draw. Now, I'm not playing a whole new world in my build, and that might be something to try out. But I can't say anything about that because I haven't played trying a whole new world. But what I have found is the card draw is a big part of the struggle. So that might be something to look into if you've played Pirates and you're struggling. If you're playing whole new world, is it working out better for you? And if not, maybe something for me too to try. But I'm really enjoying it. For card draw, we do have 4 copies of the Beast, but because there's Dragon's Fire, we've got a Long Came Zeus that are going to see high counts. Everyone's playing high count of ping cards like Smashes, like the Storm Rage on, Tiefan Ambitions. Anything to offset Jafars are a big target. But again, Beast has always been a good target for those things. Even if you're not taking him out with a Long Came Zeus or Dragon's Fire or a Tremaine hit, then just doing a bit of ping damage is going to stop you getting full value from that Beast anyway. Sometimes you could, that's not the end of the world if they just ping and take away your 2-card draw, but sometimes you really need it. I'm also running 4 copies of the Queen of Hearts, Sensing Weakness, who is a shift 2 on top of our 2-cost Queen of Hearts, who is a 2/2 with Rush. And with the let the game begin, whenever one of our characters challenges another character, you may draw a card. So at our core, we are an early to mid-game, really aggressive beat stick deck. We've got Captain Hook, we've got Mr. Smee here, who is a 3/3 for 2 lore pips, cost 2 and inkable. His only negative being if at the end of your turn, if you don't have a captain in play when he's exerted, then he takes a damage. But we've got Hook, we've got John Silver, we've got the other Hook. These I have found to be enough targets to often get value from Smee, and if not, you can just ink him. But that is also part of the reason we're running 3 copies of Prince Eric, not only just because we want a lot of low cost characters that can hit good numbers, but again, sometimes we won't, if we haven't played Captain Hook, then he's our preferred 2-drop, if not Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts is normally always our preferred 2-drop because we want the ability to shift into our 5-cost for you only have to pay 2, so you can do it from turn 3 and don't even have to use all of your ink. But yeah, you want that online as quick as possible to start drawing yourself some cards, and you need to bear in mind, if you do shift onto your Queen of Hearts, you're immediately going -1, so even if then you get 1 challenge off with, say, your Captain Hook and draw a card, that's great. but still you've evened out. You haven't actually gained any card advantage. So really you want to aim to get 2 to 3 draws with Queen of Hearts, and she needs to be an early priority in getting down. Sometimes you won't be able to go that way and you'll have to rely on the Beast, but again, he can't always be reliable, especially if you're going second. To be fair, no, with the Let the Storm Rage On and the chip damage cards, it doesn't really matter going first or second. He's always in big danger of just being either removed or at least pinged so you can't draw extra cards. Of course, there's a Rising Madame Medusa as well, who also takes him out. So he's not the most reliable. A lot of the time we have to depend on Queen of Hearts getting us a few draws. Or sometimes I've really benefited just from our opponent playing the wheel and the fact that we can play out a lot of our hand easily. Sometimes you're punished for that if you do all that and then they don't wheel. But again, you can start to build it back up if you get a nicely timed Queen of Hearts. But yeah, we've got Hook, we've got Mr. Smee, we've got Prince Eric, all as early aggro characters. We talked about Queen of Hearts. John Silver is what? Without John Silver, this would not work at all. Not at all. Such a powerful card. 3 cost inkable, 3/3. Dreamborn Villain, Alien Pirate Captain. Quest for 1 normally, and chart your own course. For each location you have in play, this character gains resist 1 and gets +1 lore. Even with 1 location in play, a 3/3 with resist 1 and questing for 2 is pretty good value. Having 2 or 3 down and this becomes absolutely busted, and it's not unreliable to be questing him with 2, 3 locations on board. And again, there's so much steal, so he just, if you've got a couple of locations out, he laughs in their face. He's a great answer to Beast Relentless, and we've got some games to show you. It's 4 games against 3 different opponents, and the first match is against the really popular at the moment Beast Relentless, Sheriff of Nottingham, and Bayou deck. Devil's Bayou. So yeah, if you've just got him on the board and enough locations, then they just cannot do their thing. But then, of course, they do turn their attention to the locations, and I'm really enjoying locations in this deck. Obviously, we've got the Jolly Roger, which gives rush to all of our... Well, it gives rush to any character that's there, which is always good, but you can move pirates there for free. So at any point, if we've got Jolly Roger, even just Captain Hook with the 3/2, it can be devastating. And again, it complements Queen of Hearts, that we're like, if we've got Queen of Hearts out, we could potentially rush something down and take out something. And sometimes the locations act as bait as well to get our opponent to start challenging them, so that then we've got things that we exerted that we can challenge and hopefully get 2 or 3 card value out of Queen of Hearts. But yeah, the locations are doing really well. Like I say, rush to all our pirates is really good. If you get this down turn 1, then you have a potential turn 3 John Silver immediate rush, and he will have at least resist 1 if Jolly Roger's on the field, and maybe you put down one of your other locations like the Bayou on turn 2 along with another 1-drop or something like that. So that can be quite mad. I'm playing 4 RLS Legacy, which is putting in a lot of value. This deck kind of also needs these locations giving some passive lore a lot of the time, and RLS Legacy giving 2 passive lore, and with 8 willpower, is tough to remove. And if you can get characters there and give them evasive, then I'm really enjoying RLS Legacy. It's much better than I thought it would be for a 4-cost uninkable, and that's nothing to do with Jim. I'll be honest, I'm still playing the 4 Jim, but I've played maybe 20 games with Pirates, and I think I've put him down twice, and he was useful once, but still that once was not necessary. I'm not saying cut it, but Jim has been underperforming for me so far, but I still like Jim. You don't aim for a turn 5 Jim Hawkins a lot of the time. A lot of the time it's aimed for a turn 5 Beast, or sometimes if you weren't able to shift your Queen of Hearts, you want to put your Floodborn down on on 5, to then have your other smaller characters then do a big challenging turn, again, presuming that there are targets to exert. Sometimes you need the Maui, sometimes you go with the Captain Hook. But yeah, Jim Hawkins is more for... It's good post-wheel. Like, if they wheel you from, like, up to 7 cards when you've got a few characters on board, and at least 5 ink, then it's a good play to be able to immediately Jim Hawkins RLS Legacy, and then because there's a character at Legacy, it only costs 1 to move your other characters there. So I'm still including Jim, but worth noting, I am still to get any value from him. But I believe in you, Jim. I'm running 2 Madame Medusa, which I think is such a good card. So many viable targets for this format. There are no Tremaines in here. There probably should be. There are times where you do want this to be Tremaine, so there could be an argument for that. I will show you a list of considerations to go in this deck. But yeah, I'm still enjoying Madame Medusa. At one point this was a 3, but bringing it down to 2, it seems to be working better for me. And now let's talk about Captain Hook and Maui. So when I first built this deck, I wasn't playing Maui's. I was all in on the Captain Hook because, again, as long as you've got Jolly Roger out, I know he hits for 1 less and has 1 less wall power, but this just seems like you're going to get more value a lot of the time, the fact that he keeps readying after taking out a character. And again, there's a lot of decks out there at the moment, especially like Emerald, that are playing like lots of small characters throughout the turns. 1 drop, and then the 2 drop is Deceiver, and then the 3 drop is the other Ursula Deceiver, something Deceiver, can't remember. But yeah, Ursula is a pretty common 2-3 curve for Emerald. So in board states like that, you get mad value from Hook, and I will show that one of these games, Hook comes in clutch. But I was punished a couple of times by drawing Hook when I didn't have Jolly Roger and I needed it to be Maui. So I did go to I've gone to a 3 count. I originally actually went down to only a 2 of Hook, but I brought it back up to 3 because I still do believe in Hook. I am a fan. It's probably a meme, but I'm still enjoying Hook when he can get value. And again, he's inkable at the end of the day. But yeah, Maui I still think is important. We're running 2 Be Prepared. I went from 4 to 3 to 2. You don't always need to board wipe. It's useful to have it, but sometimes just the single, like Along Came Zeus puts in so much. If we didn't have this, we'd probably need a higher count to Be Prepared. Or to be honest, if we didn't have this, we'd be running Dragon's Fire. And there's an argument to running Dragon's Fire. There's a few things this doesn't deal with. Tiana, still not salty. Go watch the Jafar game from last video. But yeah, there are a few things where this doesn't deal with, but I still think it deals with most of the things that you want a single target remove, such as Beast and Jafar and Beast Relentless. So there's a few things, plus the fact that we can sing it and it's 1 cheaper. But you may be inclined to go towards Dragon's Fire. I'm running 3 Smash. They're important for Jafars, for Docs, for a lot, and a lot of new stuff as well. So yeah, Smash continues to be relevant. I was running Fire the Cannons, which were fine. I decided to go Let the Storm Rage on more than anything. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's good to be able to sing it, but more than anything, I just needed the extra bit of draw, because yeah, that's where this deck struggles the most. But I'm really enjoying the deck. The third game that I will show you, the deck looks a little different, well, a fair bit different. It looks like this. I was trying the Sumerian Talisman with the idea that if I'm doing a lot of challenging, sometimes they're going to take me out in return. And even like if you get 2, if you do it twice, then you've got value from your Talisman. Or if you get 2 down for 1 challenge, that's a lot of value. It didn't work for me. Maybe someone else finds that it works and is better, but my experimentation Talisman was not putting anywhere near enough work. I also put in Billy Bones, but mostly because I just like Billy Bones and I wanted to play him. But realistically, you don't need it. This absolutely should be Maui for situations where you don't have Jolly Roger. It is important. Like I said, I was at a 3 count of Medusa. I found 2. I was also at a 3 of and then Along Came Zeus, but I do feel like 2 is fine. I added the Bayou and another copy of Agravar in my most recent deck. Again, like sometimes the Bayou can get 4 or 5 lore before they deal with it, especially if you've got like Hook and Queen of Hearts. Like Queen of Hearts can be a check because they have to assume, but they should assume that you can go into the Floodborn, so they'll be less inclined to make trades with your characters because they know that like, you're going to start getting value off of it. So it kind of checks them. So putting down the Bayou turn 1 can also be really good. You can get 3-4 lore out of that. Also, the ability hasn't come up for me, but there'll be situations where you'd like it. Agrabar could be a cut. I'm enjoying it, to be honest. It's cheap. We want to get locations out anyway for John Silver. That's another one of the reasons to have the Bayou in here. And yeah, it's 2 passive lore gain. 5 wall power was like not easy to get around unless they've got Maui. And sometimes like just making them invest their turn into dealing with a location just like keeps you in the game. I don't think this is the most refined list by any means. Let's look at some alternative options. You could go with the Robin Hood package, the new 1-drop and 5-drop, if you were so inclined. Gaston is another option. We're running a lot of low costs anyway that are going to be taken out by smashes and let the Storm Rage ons and fire the cannons. So what's one more, and hitting for 4 is a really nice check. You could play a Jafar just if you need to be able to get around evasive. Kida as a bodyguarder is not a terrible decision. Because if you were to put down your 2-cost Queen of Hearts on 2, and then something else on 3, whether it's Smash or John Silver or Jolly Roger and Mr. Smee or Hook, whatever it might be, and then turn 4, you could technically pay 2 to shift your Queen of Hearts. And then even if she's the one challenging to get the value, you then put down the Kida to be a bodyguarder for her, because you want to get more than 1 card draw off of Queen of Hearts, especially if you're shifting. So Kida could be an option. There's a couple of other pirates, Kakamora and Scroop. Absolutely not worth it. You would never run Scroop in place of Hook, and you don't need it on top of Hook. I would run Billy Bones over Scroop. Yeah, the 3-cost uninkable isn't worth. Mini's an option. No one's running evasive answers at the moment, but again, that's because everyone's throwing everything at the wall. But if evasive answers come back, then maybe you still get value. Some of you may be considering Sheer Khan, because I'm talking about, like, we're essentially a challenger deck. You could go down this road if you want to. I feel like I've not tried it, full disclosure, but there's never been a situation where I felt like, there's not often been situations where I felt like, oh, I'd get mad value off of a Sheer Khan here. Like, it's always card draw that I'm lacking. And he doesn't provide much value. Like, if you're questing or challenging with him, then he's nothing more than a beat stick, really. In which case, I don't think it's worth the slot. And yeah, maybe you get 2-3 lore gain, which in some games are going to make the difference. I haven't felt the need. I feel like he's probably too slow for this deck. Benja, if items end up becoming relevant. There's the Prince, and another bodyguard that you consider. Prince Eric is an option. It's a really strong card. I wouldn't run it unless you were going to run Teeth and Ambitions, which is another option for you to be able to deal with Jafars. And again, we can sing it. Or again, if you were running the Royal Vizier Jafar, you could also run the Dreadnought. And I actually think this might be a nice direction to go with this deck, actually, to run this Dreadnought Royal Vizier package. If I was to do another build of pirates and switch some things around, then that would probably be one of the first things I'd try. You could do the thinking a happy thought Captain Hook. Even if you don't shift him, if you've got Jolly Roger on board, then he's still rush, and he has 5/5 when challenging. Lady Tremaine, I've mentioned, might be worthwhile. Beast is here just because Grab Your Swords can really shut us down. Don't get me wrong, like, in a preferable situation with a few locations, John Silver can deal with them, but a lot of our other characters really can't deal with, like, Grab Your Swords Tink. So Beast might be a defender play that you want. We could run our own Tinks if you want. I've mentioned Cannons, Dragon's Fire, Diabolical Scheme. We've got quite a lot of villains, and if you choose to run the Jafar package, or maybe the Gaston, or even the Sheer Khan, this might be a shout. I think along came the problem with it is, like I said, we're already struggling for draw and retaining card advantage, and a 2-for-1, like, something's got to go, but we can do it with Along Came Zeus. So as much as I love the Diabolical Scheme, obviously a very sentimental card to me, but in this particular deck, I wouldn't go that way. Not when you've got access to Along Came Zeus. If you were doing Ruby Amethyst villain control, then that's a different story. Strength of Raging Fire, you could run your own Grab Your Swords. Captain Hook's Rapier, I never thought this would be great, but I thought maybe there's a chance. I don't think there is. To be honest, it's too slow. I would rather just be running things like the Queen of Hearts to give us additional draw, and I'd probably go down a whole new world line before running the Rapiers. As fun as they are, like, I really hope I'm doing a full box sealed event this Saturday. Although there's no 1-drop steel Captain Hooks, because that's first chapter, so maybe not great, but fun nonetheless. Maui's Place of Exile is another one just to help us, because again, we're a lot of small butt bodies. So if you can get character here, then that's going to help protect you against Grab Your Swords and things like Tink. And again, it's another location at the end of the day. So I think some of these I wouldn't go with. Like, I wouldn't go with the other pirate stuff. It's not needed. I wouldn't go with the Sheer Khan. Benja is a meta response. I don't really feel the need for the Prince or the Robin Hoods, but be my guest. I think the main things you could make an argument for, in my opinion, to putting in, I think Maui's Place of Exile could put in a lot of work. Grab Your Swords potentially, but Uninkables with, like, I feel like it would hurt our consistency, but maybe. Teeth and Ambitions, I think that's a good case. Tinkerbell, I think that's a really good case. Tremaine, I think there's a really good case. And the Jafar package, I think there's a really good case. And Mini, to a degree. But yeah, just some options that you might want to consider. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, it's been a lot of fun. I've really been enjoying it. I have been winning a lot more than losing, but like I say, it's early days of testing. Everyone's trying everything. I'll take it more seriously when I run into some Ruby Amethysts or some more tried and tested decks. And even if Pirates does end up being good, it probably looks a bit different to this. I actually instinctively feel like the best way to play John's... I feel like Silver's a great card, but I feel like this probably isn't the best way to play him, not as a Pirate deck. You just run him in something that's already benefiting largely from locations. But I have hopes for Pirates just because they're fun. But yeah, we've got some games to show you, so let's jump in. Right, like I said, our first match is against Emerald Steel, Relentless Beast, and don't want to set myself up for a fall, but I think this is a pretty spicy match. So going second, so we throw back Silver, Beast. I should probably have kept the Beast here. I definitely want the Roger. Like that can be a really key piece for us in the first few turns, so just rush something in. It's a perfectly fine one drop. Queen of Hearts, I always want to keep these. I want to see those two as quick as possible because it's one of our best paths to drawing. I would have held the Smear if I already had the one drop Captain Hook, but I don't. Silver is something I could have kept, but I know I'm keeping Jolly Roger. I want to make sure I've got enough ink and I can always draw into another one. Beast is the only one I probably should have kept in my hand here. We get not the best, not the worst hand. I miss what they ink, but never mind. We draw, we ink Mr. Smee, throw down Hook. There is absolutely an argument there to have played the Jolly Roger instead. But I do also want to allow for, because I want to put down my Queen of Hearts turn 2. And to be fair, if I could have done that and then turn 3, I could still play Queen of Hearts. Oh no, then I would have had to have played... I could have played the Jolly Roger as well, but I wouldn't have had a Hook on board. Yeah, I think this complements the Queen of Hearts more, actually, being able to immediately... Again, I haven't drawn it yet. So I do think this was the right play, but you could make an argument for just putting down Jolly Roger turn 1 would have been better. If nothing else, just to hold the Hook for potential ink. Like, we don't need to get him down. They play Ursula Deceiver and are punished for it. Well, not punished, but they certainly aren't rewarded for it. We draw into another baby Queen of Hearts, so we ink one of those, and I decide to double down because I can now turn 3, put down Silver, and if they quest, to be fair, if they quest of Ursula, I can take it out with the Captain Hook. But I can immediately put down Silver, and I don't know, again, you could have made an argument of putting down the Queen of Hearts there, but we do this as I do it. They play one of the best cards in format as far as I'm concerned. Again, we can't tell for sure, but my good guess, I think, would be that this 3-drop Ursula is going to be meta-defining. We do what I said and put down the John Silver. They ink one of their Beast Relentless and go Morph Captain Hook. We draw, we ink our baby queen, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to put the shifted queen down on turn 5, most probably, to immediately get value. And if I can't get value because they don't exert, I'll just put down Beast. So that was the option there. There's no way I was going to prioritize holding the baby queen for the Beast. There's no point holding the queen and throwing the Floodborn. So they throw down a Tinkerbell and they sing Strength of a Raging Fire with their new Ursula, which is devastating. Even with Resist 2, they're doing 5 to me. So they are able to take out my John Silver in 1. And of course, they buy one, get one free and take out Silver. So I was not feeling good at this particular moment. They quest up with all. Pass over to us, and we draw the Captain Hook, and check this spice. Saved by the Hook, 100%. We're only able to take 3 of these out, but that is just such value. Such incredible value, especially with them only having 2 cards in their hand. They throw down a Sheriff of Nottingham, quest up with what they can, and pass over to us. We ink the Mr. Smee, and I do opt for the... I do think this over. Again, this is all... If you're new to my channel, I hyperclip everything, so there are times where I don't always make the moves this quickly. Sometimes I'm contemplating. And I do consider the Beast, but... If I put down the Beast, I know for sure that they have just... Even if they don't have Big Tink in their hand or anything to discard, Tiny Tink in herself is a discard card. People forget this. She can exert to draw and discard a card. So I know as soon as I put this beast down, he's immediately getting pinged. So I am never getting my 2-card draw from him. So I think the better odds are to go to Medusa first, get rid of this Tink, because there's no guarantee that they've got a ping card in their hand. I'm going to give them, they're going to draw going into their turn, and then my turn I'll put, so I still need to get through 2 turns of them not hitting a ping card, but as the board stands, they already have one, so there's no point whatsoever. So we remove the Tinkerbell. I do consider removing the Sheriff of Nottingham, but I do feel like that's what gives me the most value. I end, pass over to them, they draw, they throw down a second Sheriff of Nottingham, and they're able to sing Strike a Good Match with the new Ursula, which lets them draw 2 and discard 1, which lets them do 2 pings, because they have 2 sheriffs on the board, but it lets them... Oh, no, sorry, it's not a buy one, get one free. Getting confused between the 2 Ursulas. So, yeah, thankfully, they weren't able to do that twice. That would have been a lot worse. Pass over to us, we draw a Be Prepared, which is not what we want to see at this moment in time, and you see the reason, like, why a lot of the time I think a lower count of Be Prepared. You could even make an argument to just cutting them and going with, like Grab Your Swords here would have been not better. Definitely better. But we go with the Beast play. Not that I have a whole lot of options. We take out the Ursula because we just still do survive it. They ink an Ursula of their own, and they do have the whole new world. So we get wheeled, but they don't do any damage to us because they didn't actually discard anything. So I do get quite lucky in that respect. So a nice draw 7 for us, but we still able to... I wasn't certain if we would still get our draw 2 from Beast, because they've still got 2 sheriffs there that can sing. If they've got that the Storm Rage on, or I know they're running Strength or a Raging Fire. Maybe they miss, maybe they decided just not to go for it because they want to keep both their sheriffs. But yeah, they pass over to us, we draw 2, and now we're looking good. This is a situation where Jim Hawkins looking real good, but I much prefer the idea of getting John Silver down on the board and start pressuring Law. Now, you could also argue that this is a mistake, me doing this, because Beast Relentless deck wants you to have characters on board. It wants all these targets to be able to do chip damage and take them out. However, I still need to get into the game and start questing. And even if I just put out locations, then they're just going to take them out with their sheriffs and whatever else they might put down. And that's not going to get me to game. And that's just going to give them longer to draw more cards, draw more Beast Relentless, which at the moment I can't answer a Beast Relentless. So I opt to extend, even though, again, you've always got to be aware of doing this against Beast Relentless and how many targets you're giving them to get their Beast loop off. But I'm at 0. I need to be in the game. So we extend a little bit. We put out Silver, Smee, and Eric. Smee's going to be just fine because we have John Silver on the board. We pass, they ink morph, and they throw down Beast Relentless. And I still haven't seen... at this point, I was running 3 Along Came Zeus in this particular deck. Still haven't seen any. We get a double draw off Beast, and thankfully, there it is. Didn't need the Beast, it was our first draw. But yeah, we hadn't seen one yet. There's 3 of the deck, so I think this is quite reasonable to have drawn 1 by now, especially since we didn't get 1 off the wheel. So thankfully, we are able to find one. We sing it with Medusa, because I want to do more with this ink. We throw down Jim Hawkins to put out RLS Legacy. Yeah, we go with Agrabah as well. I could have also moved characters to RLS Legacy for cheap and given them evasive. But I decide to extend my locations just because John Silver is just going to quest so high as a result. So I just quest, get myself up to 13. They find I let the Storm Rage on, so they do their ping to the beasts. They sing Strike a Match to do a 2-card draw in a discard, and then they start pinging, and then they play another whole new world. So this is going to give me 14 pings. So I have sped this bit up, as you'll notice. Ping, 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 ping. Look at all this that they've been able to accomplish. And they are able to completely board wipe me, except for Silver, who they cannot touch. They throw down a hook. Ink the Ursula, pass over to me. I go up to 17 passive lore because of Agrabah and RLS Legacy, and we quest to 22. And there you go. Loved it. I felt really good about myself for that game. Offered the rematch, and it was accepted. So we're going to a game 2, baby. So nice little showcase of the deck there for sure. What did we ink here? So yeah, we keep the Beast this time. We keep our Queen of Hearts. No point keeping Eric if I know I'm putting down Queen of Hearts turn 2, and I'm not keeping Mr. Smee without a 1-drop Captain Captain Hook. I could have kept the silver. Again, I'm still learning to best pilot this deck, and that's going to be hard until we start facing established decks consistently. So nonetheless, we all learn in my villains. We ink something or other. I throw down the Jolly Roger at turn 1. They ink a morph. I think I went with that because they didn't play a 1-drop. You've also got to be careful about putting down Jolly Roger turn 1 if you don't have... I mean, you should have characters like... even if not a Hook, then an Eric for 2 or something. But don't let them just be challenging into it. Like, if they start with a 1-drop Hook and they go first, if you then just go Jolly Roger on 1, then they're at least doing... That wouldn't be a good play. So don't let them just take it for free. But in this instance, I do opt to get it down. We draw a John Silver. I do ink one of those because I like my beast. I want my silver. And yeah, we opt to get the Hook down. There's an argument that I could have inked the Captain Hook instead and then hoped to draw another inkable on my next turn. So then I'd have had 2 John Silvers to work with. But nonetheless, we did what we did. They let the Storm rage on. We draw and throw away a Queen of Hearts because I'm not throwing my beast, even though I need to draw ink for the next couple of turns, but I don't have a whole lot going on, so I need to get this beast down and hope that I can draw cards off of that. Plus silver at the moment with 2 locations on board should be getting a lot of value. They ink Deceiver, throw down a Sheriff of Nottingham, pass. We draw a second beast, so I'm just glad to see an inkable. We quest up for 3. They throw the Bayou, throw down a beast of their own, pass over to us. We get another John Silver, and yeah, this is a play that you might find questionable. To have gone, I could have gone the other way, and there's a good argument to have gone the other way. But the way I saw it is like, hey, I've got 2 locations down. These are 2 characters that are questing for 3 and resist 2. I know you're a ping deck. I think there are really good odds that you're going to chip this beast and I don't get any value off of it. So in that instance, I feel like silver was more likely to get me value. There's an argument to be made to having just put down the beast, but I do think this was a fair line to go down because I've got to expect that they've got ping. We quest up and they do play the Storm Rage on, and they do it on their own beast. Now, I'm not sure if this is either a forgetting that I have resist, and in their head they're thinking, okay, well, I'll let the Storm Rage on John Silver and then challenge with the Sheriff of Nottingham to finish off. Again, if they forgot I had resist, then maybe that was the idea. The more likely idea that I think they probably wanted to do is a part of Beast's ability is if he has damage counters on him at the beginning of your turn, then he goes up to a 7/5 character. And I've seen people make this mistake before and do self-chip damage on Beast during their turn to get him up to that 7 to take out a threat. He has to have that damage at the beginning of your turn. That's when he decides, are you either drawing an extra card or am I going up to a 7/3 character? So this does not work. And the fact that they put the ping on there, again, I gave the first example I suppose, is less likely because they put the damage on the beast, but they could have been like, oh, I'll do this on John Silver, played Let the Storm Rage on, and then remembered, oh no, he's got resist. Oh, okay, I'll put it on my beast to make him a 7/3. So yeah, just something to point out to, like, if you're a beginner, that might be an interaction that might catch you off guard. So yeah, they ping their own beast for reasons. They ink a beast, they play a second Let the Storm Rage on my John Silver. If I'd have played that a little bit longer or remembered that happened, then I probably would. To be fair, I think they do this just to draw. I think they do that just to draw another card, to be honest. They do opt to challenge into the Jolly Roger. Or maybe in their head they thought they could use it on my location. You can't. It has to be a character. Not sure what the logic there. It might have just been that they needed to draw another card because they got nothing going on. But they challenge into Jolly Roger because they recognise that my John Silver's getting mad value as a result. Thankfully, we draw an inkable, so I am able to throw down Madame Medusa. I still opt to take the beast because at the beginning of their next turn, he will go up to a 7/3 and then he will deal with my John Silver. And to be fair, maybe that was their intention all along. Maybe they were aware that they wouldn't immediately get the strength gain, and it was just doing it preemptively so that they could take me out on their next turn. That is plausible. But we throw down one of our Medusas, get rid of that beast. You love to see it. Quest up to 12, big quest in, and they just throw me the well played. I don't know what they had, but clearly it was not enough. So yeah, I don't know if that was a mistake on their half with the whole ping damage there, but either way, a deck that's looking strong. I think they piloted, again, I couldn't see their hand, but they didn't do much that immediately jumped out to me as a terrible play. So yeah, I'm not saying that's always going to be a representation of Pirates versus Beast Relentless, but I thought that'd be an interesting match. Alright, going into our next game, this is just one game. Another Emerald Steel, but this one is a bit of spice. This is trying out things like the new Milo and Helga Sinclair. So yeah, this person trying a bit of spice. Disclaimer, I've actually commentated this game twice in a row, and both times my Streamlabs stopped recording halfway through. So if you keep seeing me look away, I'm making sure that it keeps recording this time, so I don't have to do this a third time. But let's jump in to our next game. Going first, and straight away we see a lot of what I want to see. We've got both our queens, we've got a 1-drop hook, Prince Eric I think I just hold just for guaranteed ink, we've got Beast for 5, so a lot of things that we like to see early game, and we're quite well rewarded for it. We find another Beast and a silver, we ink the Eric and throw down the Captain Hook, they ink a Simba and throw down Milo Thatch. We do ink one of our Beasts. I could have inked the Maui, but I still value it, especially against Emerald Steel, where I know there's going to be some big bodies with questing big that it's just going to be a good answer for, especially when I don't have Jolly Roger down. So yeah, we do what we do. We throw down the 2-drop Queen of Hearts. They ink a Cheshire Cat, and down comes Ursula Deceiver to scout our hand, but is unrewarded for her deception. We draw a Prince Eric, who is immediately ink, and we throw down the John Silver, I believe, here. I'm pretty sure, because I've just watched this and commentated it twice. Yep, we could have gone with the Queen, but no point revealing we've got it. Let's live in hope that they will start questing, and I'll be able to put it down and immediately challenge with a couple of things and get some nice juicy card draw. So we pass over to them. They ink another Cheshire Cat. Down comes the Prince, and back to us. We draw the Bayou. Throw that down immediately. We do ink the Maui here. I don't love giving it up, but Beast and Queen of Hearts are both our path to drawing more cards. We spend our ink moving our characters to that location, just because you never know when that's going to be useful to be able to draw and discard a card. We quest up just with Silver because I know he's going to be safe against incoming challenges. We opt not to use this ability because I'm happy with my hand. I might also want to, if I draw an uninkable, I might be inclined to ink the Queen and put down the Beast, so I want to leave that open to me as well. They ink a Helga Sinclair, and down comes another Ursula. We got to 3 lore now from the Bayou. We ink, we throw down the Beast, and I quest for just 1. I don't discard. I'm happy with this Queen. Now they turn their attention to my location. Followed up with a Strength of a Raging Fire, who, even with the location, Silver wouldn't have lived because he's only resist 1, and they got 4 characters. But still, it hoits. And they do their second ping on the Beast, denying me my additional draw, and then denying me the Beast altogether with bada bing bada boom to get him right on out of there. They quest with their Prince to 2. Now I shift into my Floodborn Queen, get as much value as I can, challenge him to the Prince because she's the only one that can take him out. We get a draw, and I'm heartbroken that these were 2 uninkables in a row. Just any inkable, putting down RLS Legacy there would have been so good, not just for the passive lore game, but again, if we've got a stadium down, then a stadium, Pokemon brain for a moment. If we've got a location down, then Silver immediately is going to have value. So yeah, that hurt, but there you go. We pass, they ink an Emerald John Silver, and down comes Helga Sinclair. They trade their Milo with me and quest with Ursula. We draw a Hook, who is immediate ink. I consider a couple of moves here. I do consider if I want to play RLS Legacy instead, but I don't want them just questing for free with Helga Sinclair. I want to be able to respond to that with a body. So, and also we're able to immediately remove the Ursula, so that's never awful. They find a sudden chill. I hate giving up my RLS Legacy. I feel like I could have got a lot of value from it, but I feel like it's the better decision over a body with removal, even though I can't remove Helga Sinclair with Medusa, and this is a situation worth noting, absolutely, where you want it to be Tremaine. And that's going to be the thing with these 2 cards throughout this format. There are going to be times, depending on if you're running both, there are going to be times where you are so annoyed that it wasn't the other one, but they're both really important. We draw a Jolly Roger, and I make a huge mistake here. I quest because I'm quite happy to trade with them. They're running Steel, so again, I'm expecting Grab Your Swords and probably Whole New World, because otherwise, where's their card draw coming from other than Strike a Good Match? Which can get you a lot of value if you've got Ursula down, but I'm expecting them to have 5-cost songs, so I'm quite happy if they want to trade. I opt not to put down the Jolly Roger, and it was silly. In my head at the time, I was like, well, maybe you just challenge into the Jolly Roger knowing that I'll make the trade. and then you've already done 4 damage to the Jolly Roger, and it's not far from being taken out. But I don't think that was a good thought trail. I think I should have just got it down. If they wanted to challenge it, that was fine for me. At least then they're not singing anything, and then I could just trade with the Sinclair. So I make a huge mistake in not putting it down, and it does end up costing me because they play A Whole New World, and I'm pretty sure it was off the top. You can go back and check that yourself if you want. But yeah, fresh 7, and they're able to sing it, so they still have use of their ink. They ink 2/6 with Helga, and down comes Beast, Selfless Protector, who is so annoying and like puts in so much work for them there here. I feel like we got a really bad wheel. Like, I know we've got a lot of these low-cost beat stick characters, but I would have loved to have seen a Be Prepared here. I would have loved to have seen a... even an Along Came Zeus would have helped a little bit. I needed more options than just beat sticks here. Some locations would have been a Jolly Roger, like, and this is a situation where if I had the Jolly Roger on the field, then I would have been able to rush with 2 John Silvers, and a 6. No, I wouldn't have been able to get Smee down as well because I can only go as high as 7. I still feel like I would have benefited more here from getting locations, well, just from having Jolly Roger down. But anyway, the Selfless Protector puts in a shift. I do draw Maui, put it down, challenge into Helga. Beast takes the hit, and then I double, go in with Medusa, who obviously I get taken out in return, but it does at least finish off the Selfless Protector, and I need it gone. I can't let Helga sit there and keep questing slash just chip damage, and she's removing things. I need to get her gone. We ink one of the Smees, I throw down a Queen of Hearts, and I probably should have challenged. No, I don't think I think that's fine because I want to leave myself open to drawing the Floodborn. They play a Grab Your Swords though, sing that, and just wipe our board, and that hurt. They ink Hercules, down comes the Mad Hatter, who obviously lets them draw whenever he's challenged. We choose to double into Helga here. I could have also just gone one of those and then a smash, but I need the smash for the Mad Hatter because I can't hit for 4 in 1, and I don't want to double challenge into it. That's giving way too much value. I can hope that I draw into a Maui or a Hook, but even Hook, I don't have the Jolly Roger down, so another reason it cost me, denied me that as a good top here. So I opt to just double into the Sinclair. I trade 2 for 1, and I ink Smee and put down Silver because I know at the very least I can smash and challenge this Hatter. They throw down a Milo and an Enchantress. We get our RLS Legacy, which at least gives us resist and a bit more questing pressure. Challenge, finish off with the smash, pass over. They ink Strength of a Raging Fire, down comes the Mad Hatter, and then they play another Strength of a Raging Fire, which is enough to get over me, even with 1 location down. They quest big, takes them to 9, and then I make my final stand. I draw Beast Tragic Hero, throw him down alongside John Silver, and just say, right, we're at 8 and 9, what have you got for me? Who could, like, this could still be my game. They throw down Milo Thatch, shifting him on top of the baby. Quest up immediately to 15, 17, and we draw RLS Legacy and Let the Storm Rage On. I do play Let the Storm Rage On because, like, I'm thinking, well, at least I get a card draw here, and maybe it's something that can get me out of this situation, but unfortunately, I do not have enough to take out 2 of these characters, and I can't do the thing that my match 1 opponent did and use Let the Storm Rage on Beast because it won't immediately trigger his strength gain. So, because I'm unable to get this down, I think I just do this just to show them my hand. I throw down the other Legacy, quest up to 15, throw them the Well Played, and they declined me my rematch, which I was very upset about, but never mind. So important to show a loss as well, even though I feel like we got a bad stint of luck a lot there, but sometimes that's going to happen, and it was nice to face some spice. This final game to show you is actually a game and a half. It's versus Steel Amethyst Jafar. Now, I'm going to show you the full game 2, because game 1, they make some misclicks, which are definitely misclicks and not misplays, which absolutely cost them. And I'm just going to show you the highlights of that first game, even though I would have liked to have shown it because it showed Pirates doing really well, but they did 2 game-changing misclicks, which I didn't think it was worth showing the whole game. But I will show you just the highlights of it, and then I've got 1 full game to show you. This game is using a different list, this list that I showed you right at the beginning of the video, which was my original way of building this. So you will see some card discrepancies here. But I thought it was very interesting to show us taking on Jafar. So like I said, this first game, I'm just showing you the highlights. This is showing them, they throw down Jafar. This is their turn 5. They throw down Jafar. They throw Fire the Cannons on their own Madam Mim, where they obviously meant to do it on my beast to stop me getting extra draw. They even throw the whoops. So that was the first misplay. This is moving into my turn 6. Inking a silver. We throw down Madam Medusa. Get rid of this Jafar. Oh, this is just showing me controlling the board and just stopping them getting Jafar online. This is jumping to their turn 7, where they play the Captain Hook, where they definitely intended to shift it onto their dry 1-drop Captain Hook, because then they'd immediately challenged into Madame Medusa, who is not at the RLS Legacy yet, so does not have evasive, and they give it the whoops again, and I return the whoops. So 2 turns where they lose huge tempo, and they're only able to do 3 damage to the Legacy there, and here I'm able to throw down the Queen of Hearts. We've got targets here to challenge, getting mad value off of the Queen of Hearts. Absolutely mad value. Take up both of these. This isn't sped up as much as it should be, but again, it's just the highlights I'm showing you before I show you the full game. They have to do a hard drop on their turn 9 to put down Jafar, quest themselves up, but I'm already so far ahead just from little questing and like locations giving me little bumps. We draw a hook. We have the Along Came Zeus to just immediately remove this Jafar before it's able to do anything that would upset us. Again, we're still drawing cards from challenging, and I'm surviving some of these hits. So just showing you just mad value from Queen of Hearts and our ability to control Jafars. And then this moving into probably turn, turn 9 or 10. And look at this play here. Just extend John Silver and Eric with 3 locations on board. And look, we've got the RLS Legacy there that'll take us up to 20 anyway, and John Silver will be questing for 4. So yeah, just the highlights of that. Maybe the 2 misclicks they did would have changed things. I don't know. Pirates was kind of popping off, but yeah, that was game 1. But I'll show you now the entirety of the rematch. So we're going second. We throw away the hook, the Agrabah, yeah, for all the things we don't want to see. I wouldn't keep the big Queen of Hearts without already seeing the baby. I think maybe sometimes you could, because even without the 2-drop, you could just put that down on 5 and potentially immediately get value if you've got a board of things to challenge and things that are exerted. But there's no guarantee of that. I would rather prioritize finding things like Hook and Beast, and just my early game things, and like maybe the Jolly Roger, things like that. And we do find Roger, we find Silver, another Hawkins, and the Sumerian Talisman. They went first. They ink a Beast, throw down a Captain Hook, pass over to Moir. We draw Agrabah. We throw away Jim Hawkins. I don't desire him at this moment. I opt not to throw down the Jolly Roger because I'm just letting them challenge it and immediately do 3 damage, and I can't immediately respond. If I had a Captain Hook in my hand, then there's an argument to it, because I could have let them challenge into that and then turn to immediately put down Hook and challenged in. But as it stands, I can't. Prince Eric is not a pirate, so he can't get free rush. So I opt to hold it. They ink Benja, throw down a second Captain Hook, quest their first, and now we draw into the Floodborn Queen of Hearts. We ink the Sumerian Talisman, and down comes Prince Eric just to check those 2 hooks. They ink another hook. Hook, where's the hook? Down comes Jafar on their turn 3. They quest up with both hooks, which is like they're quite happy to make this trade with me, clearly. We draw an ink a Smee. And yeah, we throw down the John Silver here. I could have smashed here, but the reason I don't is because I would prefer, it is kind of a risk. No, it's not, because I got a Long Came Zeus in my hand. Yeah, so this is my thought trail. If they throw down... Yeah, this is only really bad if they throw down a second Jafar. Then I am punished for this decision. But the way I see it is, if I smash they might not throw down a second Jafar if they've already got one. Whereas if I smash this Jafar, they might immediately follow it with another one. To be fair, I've got a Long Came Zeus in my hand, and even if they chose to now turn 4 shift into the Dreadnought, I can still deal with it. So potentially there was an argument to having just smashed that, and then if they followed up with another Jafar, whether it's the Dreadnought or another baby, then I could have also Along Came Zeus. I opt to hold and just get down the John Silver instead, because again, next turn I could potentially play 2 locations when I ink up to 4 and then be questing big. So I don't think it was a terrible decision, but potentially a little risky. But they ink a Madam Mim Snake. They hard pay for Friends on the Other Side, quest up with Hook, leave the others nice and safe. We draw Mr. Smee. I now opt to smash the Jafar, because now I'm completely taking away the turn 5 striking Illusionist from them. Ink Mr. Smee, and now we throw down our Jolly Roger. We challenge in. I shouldn't quest here. I do quest. Why did I quest? Another silly decision. I've done that a couple of times the last couple of days. I don't... Oh, because I've got Queen of Hearts. That was why. That was why. Because I've got Queen of Hearts, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to get more value long term. So that was my thought trail. Whether or not it was the right move is a different question, but I can remember what my POV was. So we were able to throw down Queen of Hearts, immediately challenging to hook. I didn't mention it, but you saw that they smashed my John Silver and didn't realise that it wouldn't take them out. Gave me another whoops. But I wanted to show at least one full game again, with us facing Jafar, even though it might be tainted by the fact that they've made a couple of quite game-changing misplays there, but nonetheless, we're a pirate deck. It's not like we're top tier, I don't think. They ink a striking Illusionist, throw down a Raw Vizier Jafar, so I've still got to respect that they have shift into a big one open to them. I opt to sing this with Queen of Hearts, so that I can also throw down the RLS Legacy and get some additional questing off. Unfortunately, it costs 3 to move to the RNS Legacy, unless there's already a character there. But we get passive lore gain from our big old boat, not from our Jolly Roger, but from the Legacy. We throw down a second John Silver, and look at this, just aggressive questing now. They've not been able to throw anything down. They get another hard summon for Jafar. Another passive lore gain for 2, getting us to 11. We find another Queen of Hearts, and yeah, look at this. Now we've got 3 locations. Game. Just game. So again, maybe slightly tainted, well, definitely tainted by the fact that they smashed the John Silver. Maybe it'll help you learn and not do the same thing. Like I said, I want to get content out and show a bit of everything, but I've made it clear, don't take too much of this too seriously as a reflection of what the meta will be. I think we can make some educated decisions. Like, I think 3-drop Ursula is just defining, absolutely defining. Everything else is still very much up in the air. But yeah, I really enjoyed playing Pirates. Again, probably not the optimal list, even if Pirates does have a chance as a meta deck. I don't think so. I think it's a fun rogue deck, but the key word there is fun, and I enjoyed it, and I hope you do too. But yeah, if you've got any thoughts on Pirates, let me know down in the comments. But that's it from me for now. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe for all things Lorcana, hit the like button to show support, and we'll see you soon.